welcome back, guys. So getting ready to paint these tanks. I got 4 of them drilled here, as you see, and have them dried off, and I've got the holes that I drilled taped off on the inside with painter's tape. So I'm gonna paint like this back side here, like an end, and then one long ways. So this end and that end, that end and that end, and then on this one, these 2 sides here. So you notice some of these tanks are not all the way cleaned. For me, I think that's fine. I mean, a little algae, I'll, clean up a little bit more once I get things going, but a little bit of algae and stuff like that is only gonna help when you're talking about growing fish out, breeding. These are not display tanks, so it'll be a little more clean than that, but I'm not spending a whole bunch of time on it at all. So I'm just using a small roller here, and this is the semi-gloss exterior, which I use for the stands. So probably use a couple coats of that. So I'll show you guys when we're all set. Hey Biotopers, welcome back. So in today's video, we're gonna start transferring these 2 20-gallon aquariums into the rack system. So we get those last 2 drilled. So let me turn you around and show you what you got. So we'll get these 2 rainbow cichlids out of this tank, and then we'll get them into this tank here. I've got my helpers here helping me out. So we're gonna get them in here. I'm gonna fill this up with water first and clean up the glass a little bit. And then I'll drain it out, and then we'll start moving rocks and wood and plants out of this tank so we can get the fish out. So stay tuned and we'll get going. tank is broken down, and we've got all the valve in this tank, and we've got the the 2 rainbow cichlids in there with 99% of the substrate, piece of wood, a few rocks. It's the same hang on back I had, so it's all cycled. I did add some tap water, so I put some conditioner in there. And so we're just gonna let it kind of settle overnight. Just wiped out the glass a little bit, but you can see how cloudy it is. And in the back, you can kind of see that overflow. I've got a intake sponge on it. You can see here from the side. The fish are a little bit stressed, but I'll have to turn the lights off here in a second, let them settle in, and then we'll take a look in the morning at those guys. But they should be good. They should be good overnight. And but the overflow is working great, and really excited about that setup. We'll figure out lights and lids later on as we get along, but that's what we'll keep it tonight. So we'll check back in tomorrow. Okay, checking back in here in the Biotopes fish room. As you can see in that tank right here, a little bit cloudy. I just put some Vallisneria in there. In this tank here, I've just got a holding tank with all the extra val I have from when I broke down that original tank. So let's get you guys turned around, and I'll give you an update on what's going on in here. Okay, here we are. So remember, these are the 2 female rainbow cichlids. I had them in that tank. I emptied them out because I'm going to drill this, and that tank will go here. So I'm going to drill and paint that. Boom, that's going to be our second tank on that rack. So they're in here. You know, I don't plan on scaping it. It's not really a scape. I just got this piece of wood. Just a rock structure. You can see them kind of hiding under there. Under the rock, they like kind of caves, and I kept that rock like that for potential spawning in the future if we get a male or even angelfish. I just planted this val kind of along the back. Again, it's really cloudy right now, but that's, you know, not even half the val that I have just hanging out in this tank here. So I put a catappa leaf in there and some salts just to try to help them with the stress a little bit. So as you can see right now, I've got a hang on the back. I don't know if I'm gonna stick with that or not. I've also got a heater in this tank. Potentially the long-term plan would be to heat the room. I've got a small space heater right now that's kind of set really like the high 60s just to keep it from ever getting super cold. It's, you know, end of May right now, so it's, you know, 60s, 70s out here. But I've just got a hang on the back there. One, just because that's all I had. 2, that was the cycled filter from up here, so I just, boom, instant cycle, plus all the substrate. So we may do a linear piston air pump in here in the future and just do sponge filters. I'm kind of gonna just use what I have for now until I run out of hang on the backs, and then we'll switch a sponge. Again, there's our overflow. I've got a lot of evaporation in this tank just in like the last day. So I'm gonna make my own lids just with some polycarbonate. And I can, you know, cut up some spaces for the overflow sponge and you know, whatever else in there. I'm also gonna put these lights kind of up under here, just kind of attach them to this so I can get that up and out of the way. So I'll figure out a way to do that. So just want to give you guys an update on where we are right now. I've still got the Pseudomagil signifers that I've got to get out of that tank, and I'll probably end up moving them down here, clean this tank up, get that val out. I'll probably use some of that valve in this tank for those pseudomugills, those rainbow fish, and then start just kind of setting up these tanks as we go up. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at. Just wanted to get you guys an update. Right now, as you guys can see, it's 75 degrees in here. And again, the heater's not set at 75. It's just really the heat from these two tanks. And 78% humidity. Getting pretty close to needing a dehumidifier. So that will be another purchase that we'll probably make in the future. So just taking it step by step, slowly but surely here over time. So yeah, so I think next update will be starting to either get the lids. I think I'm gonna get some of that polycarbonate and get the lids so we can keep the tanks from evaporating, and I need to get that light installed there and figure out a way to do that that's gonna be best for each of these levels. So I'll probably do that next before I move these guys over here. So anyway, thanks so much for tagging along. It's gonna be a lot of fun. We got a lot going on, so be sure to subscribe and give me a like on this video. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much. Hey everybody, just wanted to finish up this video with a quick update here in the fish room. So I'm gonna turn around here and show you what's going on here in this 20-gallon rack. So we've got the rainbow cichlids in this tank here. You know, I'm trying to mess with that valve, and anybody who kept some of these fish know that they just tend to rip up some of the plants, so leave some of it alone. Usually once it gets established, it's okay. But there's one of the girls there, and where's the other one? Oh, she's under the heater in the back there. So can't see it all the way, but anyway, they're in there. I've got the rainbow fish and these are pseudomugill signifers. I've got one Aponogeton in there. There's a ghost shrimp I've got, and some more val sticks and whatnot. See if I can get you guys a video of these. Right here in the back. They're really beautiful, small rainbow fish. So they're from northeastern Australia. But I've got 10 of them in here, 4 boys, 6 girls. And they're really doing great. So got those in there yesterday. And then what I did is I just threw all the plants in this 20-gallon tank here. And any of you guys that have kept rainbow fish before, you know that, at least for me, they just throw some of that moss in there, and there is certainly some babies. Let's see if we can find any. There's some right here. You guys can see any of these things. There's right there in the center of the screen. Rainbow fish are super teeny tiny, but there's another one here in the center of the screen. I have 3 I see in the screen now. So it's crazy. They just leave their legs in that moss, and you know, next thing you know, I put no dechlorant. This is just tap water. There's no filter. There's no heater. I've been feeding them micro worms twice a day, and you know, between that and what's all on the plants, little microcrustaceans or whatnot, they're fine. They're a couple days old, so it's crazy. The last little thing, the last little thing I'm having an issue with is I'm getting some leakage behind here. I think it's somewhere in the manifold is leaking, and it's too tight there to get too close. I'm gonna try to do my best, but just so you know, what I did here is, I'll take this off. It's just a threaded elbow that slipped into that bulkhead. And then I had a screen on here, but I don't really need it. I put this coarse sponge on top. I think that's gonna be good. But I think I'm getting leakage between the barbed elbow slip and the slip on the bulkhead. And it's just ever so small, dripping into the manifold, which seems fine, except, and these are pushed in as far as tight as I can do it, except that I'm getting some puddling behind there on the floor. And I saw a little bit. Let's see if I can show you guys. Oh, it's not gonna focus, but right there, you see that dripping on the white pipe? And it's coming out of that crease, that junction in those two pieces of PVC. And the problem is that it's barely, I mean, water is ever so slightly, I'm gonna try to get you guys, can't tell, but inside that manifold behind those wires is that black tubing that's coming down. Let's try and get this out of the way. See right there? So there's that black tubing that's coming from the tank, and there's just that little drip of water, and somehow it's leading to like some beads of water along right below here. So you can see right there, tip of my finger, that's where that water's dripping out of the tubing, which is the right thing. It's going in manifold, but then somehow is leading to some, see those drops? That joint between those two pieces of PVC somehow is dripping water. Water is barely coming out of that pipe. I don't understand how that's happening. And then it's just dripping onto the floor. So if anybody has any ideas on what could be happening there, I would really, really appreciate it. It's not a lot of water, but it does. I've got a rag set up there now. You can see the rag in there just to kind of catch some water. And I'm gonna see if I can get you guys down here. There's just the slightest bit of dripping off the bottom of that PVC. See that? I just don't get why it's leaking with so little amount of water coming out. Now, you know, I just used some PVC glue. I didn't use like cement or anything like that. Maybe that's why. You can see it's just accumulating and dripping down. Not a lot, but it's something. And I don't like that. So I don't know if there's a way to like seal joints of the PVC after it's joined, like up from the outside. I'll have to look into that. If you guys have any ideas or there's any pros out there that know about that stuff, please let me know. I'm going to maybe put something on that joint on the other side of this manifold. That seems to be where the leak is coming from. So I was thinking with so little water coming out of the pipe, out of the tanks, that shouldn't be creating a leak, but that's the only place I can think of that it's coming from. So you can see the water's down a little bit, you know. So anyways, that's one little thing I gotta try to get figured out. And then the next thing I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna fit lids, just some DIY lids for all of these. I've got some polycarbonate sheet, some clear sheet, and I'll cut those and get those fitted. That'll help with certainly the evaporation. I mean, it's really leading to like some high humidity. It's 79% humidity in here, 81 degrees. So I'm gonna get those fitted for all 6 tanks. I don't know, man, I might leave those in there and see if I can grow those babies up a little bit. I do have some really cool fish, some rare live bears coming really soon here next week. So I need to drill this tank, so I'm either gonna, maybe I'll just put them in here for now. That's already drilled. I gotta get that tank going. That's it for me for today, guys. Thanks for tuning in. If you wanna see these new fish that I'm getting in next week and see how the rest of this build on this rack goes, please be sure to subscribe. Give this video a like, that really helps out the channel a lot. And share with me some of your secrets. I'm getting some of that leak there, that back, how I can maybe fix that, what I should be looking for, somewhere between the bulkhead and that PVC. Something's going on. So look forward to having you guys maybe fill me in and give me a little tip. So again, that's it for me. Thanks so much. We'll catch you in the next one.